As a new legislator, what have you learned about the legislative process that you didn't know?
Well, the legislative process is designed to stop bills. And that's probably good because it takes a lot of work to put good ideas forward and refine them through the legislative process. And once a bill is law, it should be very difficult to reverse it. So you want a thoughtful process that goes into creating our legislation. And if there are a few tough hurdles to clear in the process, that's better for everyone, I think.
As a former school board president, are you doing any work on education issues in the legislature?
I've got quite a few bills that are in play still. My first three bills were focused on basically eliminating waste for school districts, allowing us to put more of our funding into the classroom. So I have one bill that gave school districts more flexibility addressing truancy issues, another for in-house repair improvements, and a third one just generally looking at unfunded mandates and how we can reduce those for districts. The fourth bill is actually my first substitute bill. That's a AP Computer Science bill. It allows computer science to count for either math or science credit towards graduation. It also promotes a new grant program that builds on the co-teaching programs that we have in the Issaquah School District. We piloted this with Microsoft. It's called the TEALS program, and allows industry experts to come into the classroom and co-teach with certificated teachers a lot of these hard-to-fill computer science subjects. And so it started as a pilot in the Issaquah School District, is now in 37 districts in 8 states. It's a hugely successful program, and we're looking to provide grants so that other districts throughout the state can take advantage of it as well. And that just sent to the Senate a week ago. My goal on the campaign trail was to close the skills gap. And so the 6,000 open positions at Microsoft are high-paying jobs, and I want to make sure our kids have an opportunity to get those jobs. If you actually look at computer science, AP Computer Science enrollment, it's dropped by 2/3 in the last decade. And nationwide, there are 1.4 million positions that are going to be available for computer science in the next decade, and there are only 400,000 kids who are pipelined for those jobs. And so this bill will be a great opportunity to put more kids into that pipeline for high-paying jobs. Those are the ones we want to keep in Washington State.
How do we keep our schools safe?
Well, this has been a hot topic lately, and the focus has been gun control, but I do want to make sure that we're focusing on what works. We know school resource officers work. In the Issaquah School District, we lost funding for one of our high schools because King County cut the school resource officers program. And we found the money within our local levy dollars to make sure that that sheriff is down at Liberty High School and keeping our kids safe. Plus, building a positive relationship that kids have with law enforcement that'll serve them well throughout life. As we've been focusing on the gun control issues, the assault weapons ban has come up on the Senate side. The focus here in the House has been more of the universal background checks. I have an amendment that never got hung because the Democratic caucus didn't get the votes to bring it to the floor. But my amendment would have made reduced the barrier for compliance, because essentially what we're talking about with existing law already covering gun shops and gun shows, what we're talking about is private transactions. And so we have a law that would basically be enforced by the honor system. And so if we're going to rely on people to police themselves, I wanted to make sure that the barriers for compliance were very, very low. If you look at private sales right now, folks are supposed to be completing a consumer use tax return every time that they have a garage sale or any kind of transaction like that. Nobody does it because it's so painful to do. My amendment to the universal background check bill would have turned the compliance around to same-day service. And ultimately, I believe we can have a program like they use for arms collectors that would occur instantly at point of sale. All you do is enter the name and birth date of the person who's looking to buy that weapon. It comes immediately back with a background check and sends you email for confirmation. So that would reduce the barriers to compliance considerably. And I think we're going to get a lot more people who honestly want to ensure that their weapons don't end up in the hands of someone who would use them to commit crimes. But we need to make it really easy for folks to comply.